Welcome to Singapore, the logistics heart of Asia Pacific in so many ways, and here where we're so happy to host the first Automotive Logistics and Supply Chain ASEAN conference, focused on automotive supply chains here in Southeast Asia, looking at challenges across the region, optimization opportunities, integration, digitalization, and much more in this important region, which is growing. We see a strong growth forecast, but full of challenges, volatility, whether it's the weather, whether it's different regulations across the region, whether it's fragmentation. But nonetheless, huge opportunities for logistics and supply chain to add value, and we talked about that across the day. We started with a keynote presentation from Eshwani Mupasani, who is the Chief Operating Officer for Stellantis across India and Asia Pacific, and he talked about how supply chain is at the heart of increasing speed for Stellantis, shortening order to delivery times, getting vehicles to customers faster so that it reduces inventory and capital costs and helps the company earn money. He talked about how supply chain needed to be seen as a growth area, not just a cost center. And that means investing in the right solutions and partners to increase that speed, to have alternatives. He shared great examples, for example, of hub and spoke models where vehicles could be centralized and distributed to different countries in this region, or circular supply chains for packaging and much more. We also heard from other major manufacturers like BMW Group and Volkswagen Group in the region. Dr. Michael Nicolaides, who leads global logistics, for example, talked about the key role that logistics plays for BMW here, where it has its so-called local production network with small plants in countries like Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Thailand, with most of the parts, or many of the parts, coming from overseas, for example, from Europe or other supply centers. And that means long lead times, long order to delivery cycles, relatively low scale. It also means that the company has the flexibility to manage those different regulations and to serve customers here. So on the one hand, it's really positive, good chances for growth. On the other hand, that fragmentation, of course, limits certain opportunities for growth, scale, economies of scale. And Dr. Nicolaides really called for greater harmonization of regulations in the region, to find ways for companies to work better together and smooth those processes so that BMW can grow more. But nonetheless, he also talked about the so-called Unleash ASEAN initiative. So this is really an objective for the company to build up ASEAN together with other countries in Asia Pacific as the fourth major pole for BMW globally, alongside, of course, Europe, China, US, North America. Dr. Susanna Lehmann, who's a managing director for Volkswagen Group in Malaysia, also really put that harmonization issue into perspective. She showed the range of different custom requirements and regulations which really slow trade across the region and in some ways limit opportunities. And it's not always a level playing field, but nonetheless, Volkswagen Group is making progress, is increasing more models, to start local production of Audi just this year in Malaysia, and plans to grow more to increase the supply chain connections, for example, with China, where Volkswagen is bringing out a host of advanced vehicles, wants to bring those kind of vehicles and technology into this region, leverage the sorts of free trade agreements that exist so that Malaysia, for example, can be an export hub for Volkswagen. It's just an example of how growth is developing. We also heard from other car makers in this region, like Praveen Prakash from VinFast, who leads supplier quality, how VinFast, which is growing tremendously in Vietnam right now, and is shifting its supply chain from one mainly using global suppliers to using more local suppliers, including in Vietnam and also in Indonesia, where VinFast is building a factory. But shifting the supply chain means working closely with your suppliers, making sure that they have the right information, they know how to deliver. You might have to work with them on inbound logistics, on quality topics. A really tight integration is very important, and as Praveen said, share bad news early. And that was a key message across the supply chain. If you're a supplier, let your OEM partner or customer know early of a disruption. If you're an OEM, let your partner know early of a change. The earlier we know, the better we can react. Of course, one key way to improve that integration and communication is through digitalization, and there is many aspects that we can see this region as a digital and even potential AI hub. For example, Sanjeev MA from Ford, who helps to lead digitalization and logistics for the International Markets Group, which includes Asia Pacific, has built up a central control tower, in this case in India, which is integrating information across the region and helping to plan flows and then also rolling this out globally. Thailand for Ford won a global technology award. So there's plenty of talent and skills right in this region to leverage and grow further. We just have to harness it and help the industry work together. And you know, this was the key topic and thread across many of our speakers. So it's been great to bring this community together. We certainly saw the engagement from the community, from OEMs, 3PLs, Tier 1s, logistics service providers. At our DP World hosted cocktail reception, we see how the community is really enjoying coming together. We think there's a lot of opportunity to work more together to improve the supply chain. That's why this is just the start of our focus on ASEAN. We've just released a new market report, automotive logistics market report, focused on the top ASEAN nations. You can buy it and download it now, learn more about our forecasts for the region, where we see the market developing, the opportunities there. And of course, a lot more coverage coming out on automotive logistics focused on key countries and here. And this event will continue. We're planning to be next year in 2026 in Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur. As we expand further into this, we want everyone from the event this year to follow us there and grow our footprint and just learn more and grow more with this region. So keep up with us at Automotive Logistics. There's going to be a lot more for us coming from Southeast Asia, and of course across our global series of events, content and research. We're so happy to share with you. For now, I'm going to get back to this community and continue to learn more. So greetings again from Singapore, and we'll see you real soon.